Perfect. So, yeah, so we should.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, so good to see so many beautiful souls coming in. Come in, come in. Hey, if you can, have your camera on. I know everyone has a million things going on, but I love seeing you, connecting, engaging. Hello. Oh my gosh. I love seeing familiar faces. I see new faces. Good morning. Good morning. Where are we coming? Actually, let me ask you a different question. I see so many beautiful souls who I know I see some new ones too. Who here, this is your first event? I think that's probably, I see, yeah, a couple of hands raised. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Hi. I am so excited to be here with you. This is, this whole event and what we are talking about this week, quantum sales growth and unlocking quantum sales growth for you. I was just connecting with Laura on our team, who I'll introduce you to in a minute, earlier, and I was just sharing with her how so much of this has just been channeled. It's like it's been from spirit, and it's different concepts, it's new concepts than we've taught before. And I am truly so excited to bring them to you. So I am thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us live. I'll do a super quick intro because I know for some of you, this is your first time joining us and being in the community. My name is Elyse. I am the founder and CEO of our company, She Sells. I will share a little bit more about my journey as we go throughout the week, but my heart and my passion is in helping you unlock quantum sales growth in your life, in your career, whatever that looks like. And I think as we go throughout the week, you will find that it goes way deeper than just sales. So we'll have some fun talking about what really unlocks quantum sales growth, because it's not what you think. And today we're going to do a deep dive into the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth for women. I want to take just a moment to and introduce our team, our She Sells team. So if you are a member of the team, raise your real hand or your virtual hand. I see Kayla, I see Laura. So these women are going to be helping you a lot this week and are phenomenal examples of the principles that we teach and embody. And some of you are going to be connecting and hearing from Laura throughout the week too. I'm going to bring her up in a second to say hi, but Laura has, when I think about someone who embodies what we teach and the transformation that we aim to create for each of our community members, Laura Grabavoy is a definite example of that. And she and I connected years ago. She's like an OG of the She Sells community. And she went through our 10K club program and then upgraded into our 50K club mastermind, and happened to double her income in 6 months. She's a corporate banking powerhouse and had such amazing transformation that she came alongside us as VP of sales as well. And she's an amazing mama, wife, business powerhouse. Laura, do you want to hop on for a second and say hi? I want everyone to hear from Laura because she's going to be just connecting with all of you throughout the week and making sure that you're taken care of. Do you want to come on and say hi and just share anything I didn't say about your transformation?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Elyse, for that. You know, like Elyse shared, I've been on the corporate side for 30 years. I have my degree in business management. I've led teams for half of that time, and then a high sales producer. And so I know what it means to work hard and to go after your goals. And you know, and I did well. I won many awards, but inside there was so much that was happening that I really needed to transform. And so when I did that and going through the program, I had so many things, not only income wise, I doubled my 6-figure income within 6 months. And then my goal was to create multiple levels of income, and I'm doing that. And so it's so amazing. Not only that piece of it, but also the transformation when you do the work and really just go inside. You'll see some shifts happening all around you. So relationships and money and all kinds of fun things that show up for you. So super excited to connect and be here. But yes, so excited about this. Thanks, Elyse.
Of course. Yeah, we're so just love having you. And so you all will love getting to know Laura, and then Kayla too, who's on our team, and everyone else throughout the week too. So here's what I want to know. You are here taking time out of your, I don't use the word busy ever. I say like full productive, but you're here taking time out of your, no doubt, full day. What are you looking for? What is your desire when it comes to quantum sales growth? Just type in the chat. I want to take a moment and see what is resonating for you about this. What are you looking to create and accomplish in your business, in your life, in terms of quantum sales growth? So I want to hear, let's see here. Valerie is saying, better having the confidence to ask for my worth. Oh my gosh, yes. Tomorrow, we're going to be, a little spoiler alert, we're going to be talking a lot about that tomorrow, Valerie. That is a place where women hold themselves back a ton. And here's the thing, the world will value you at the level you value you. So we're going to talk a lot this week about what really unlocks quantum sales growth for women. And so much of our attention is on stuff outside of us, how much clients are not paying us, how big or how little the revenue numbers look this month. We're going to help you understand how to get under the hood of what's really holding you back and create a quantum leap in those areas. Let's see here. Dolores, ditto, build relationship with returning clients. Beautiful. One of the best and most fun ways to sell. Mary Van Dorn, speaking of a returning client who I love to death, making mega money during my playtime. Yes, I love that. Kelly, hello. New strategies to employ to grow sales revenue while simultaneously working a bit less. Beautiful. Christina Kincaid, consistently hit 10K months. Yes, I love it. I love helping women do that. Penny, that resonates. We have to make ourselves smaller without fully realizing. Oh yeah, we do. So we're going to get into it. I like to think of quantum sales growth as achieving things beyond the ordinary. And again, I'll share a bit more of my story, and we're going to highlight some of our incredible community members this week as well. But the results that happened in my life when I not just, now this is really key because I want you to hear this, not just when I learned this, but when I embodied it. When I embodied it, the results that came, most people would say are not possible the way that they came. So to me, quantum sales growth is more about allowing in the abundance, the opportunities, the clients, the sales, and the life that you have been desiring and saying you want for so long, but have either been making yourself wrong for wanting or saying you aren't worthy of. And when we do that, when you learn to make the shifts that we're going to talk about this week, you will unlock a level of, what is the word? It's like a sales explosion is the word that's showing up. That's not the exact right thing to say, but that's close enough. But it's not going to be from hustling or grinding harder. So here's what I am guessing about you, because you're here and you're part of this community. Who here identifies as a very hard worker? Who is a hard, right? Like the women in our community, you know how to work hard. You are driven, you are ambitious, you know how to work hard. Rebecca is saying yes. And how many of you also identify with wanting more, but feeling like if you worked any harder, you would be like on the floor at the end of the day? Right? Like you're already bumping up against a limit in terms of either how much time you have, how much effort you can put in. If you want to have like a chance of having time with your family or social life or doing any of the things that really matter. Or oftentimes as women, we say, well, I just can't have it all, right? I'm in a season where I've just got to just grind and put in the work and put my head down. No, we are not. That's not what we're about here. I'll share with you just a little bit of my backstory before we talk more about the first quadrant of quantum sales growth, which we're going to be talking about today. So when I got out of college, I climbed the corporate ladder and I went into sales right off the bat. And I found myself in my late 20s, top of the leaderboard in the marketing sales job I was in, nice house, nice car, having created the life that I thought was going to make me happy and fulfilled. And what I wasn't telling anybody was that on the outside, I looked like, it's 11:11. I love that. On the outside, I looked like I had it all. And yet on the inside, I was in so much pain, and I was struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and eating disorder. I was in massive overwhelm and burnout, just trying to burn the candle at both ends to keep it all together, to stay top of the leaderboard. And how many of you have ever had that experience where you're like, something's got to give, like there has to be a different way, right? And I decided there had to be a different way. It was right before I turned 28. 28 has always been a special number for me. And I was like, I'm not available to live this 28th year of my life that I get the same way that I've been living before. And I just made a commitment in that moment. I am willing, there's got to be a different way, and I'm open and willing to change. And it began a journey of unraveling everything that I had learned about not just how to sell, but also how to live my life, which we're going to talk about some this week too. That really kickstarted a powerful transformation. Even when I learned these things, though, I still stayed stuck at the same income level for 10 years. So I was on my personal development journey, doing the thing. Still, no matter what I did, I couldn't break past the very low six-figure mark. When I made a true commitment to change, and this didn't happen until I was 35, I made a true commitment to change, and I took some big action on my part and embodied what we are learning this week. That is where the quantum leap occurred. That is where in 6 weeks, I turned my annual income into my monthly income. It wasn't from working harder. It was from what you're going to learn this week. And it happened so fast, and it was so unexpected how big and how fast the results came that it felt like whiplash. You know, it was like, it can't be like, wait, it can actually be easier to make a quantum leap than it's been to just keep getting the same results every year. Yes. So who here is at least open-minded to that could be possible? And yes, if there's any way it's possible, I want that too, right? So beautiful. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So in terms of what to expect this week, we are going to be teaching and going through the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. Now, you all who here has been to events before / is in the She Sells community, like I see so many beautiful, familiar faces. I love it. Have I ever used a PowerPoint? Have you ever seen me use a PowerPoint? Y'all brace yourself. There have been so many things downloading where I'm like, I have to show this as a model. So I have a presentation for you. Amy saying never, I know, me neither. But there have been so many things downloading and channeling that I wanted to make this very, very clear and digestible for everyone to understand. So I follow the nudges, and I was nudged for this, make a presentation so everyone can see it and understand it. And again, not just get it here, but start to embody it. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be talking today about the first quadrant specifically. There's going to be teaching. There's also going to be live interaction. So like I said, my team is here to help support you. I'm also going to be monitoring the chat to see what's going on, but I'm not going to be able to catch everything. So I know my team's going to be watching. If you've got a question or you need support, they will take note of it so they can alert me and let me know that you've got a question. We are going to be, like I said, sharing some community member spotlights throughout the week too. So I'm so excited just to feature other women in our community and their growth. We're going to be doing daily homework to help you go deeper. So there is a giveaway. We do have a giveaway at the end of this week of a private coaching session with me. So I'm really excited to do that with whoever wins. To be entered into that, you need to be here live every day, and you need to share your homework in the Facebook group. It's fun homework. It's like life-changing homework. So I think you're going to like it. So we're going to be doing the 4 quadrants today through Thursday. Friday is going to be a VIP day and bonus day in live coaching. We'll share on probably Thursday a little bit more about our community, our programs, how you can get involved from here if you like. And like I said, we're going to be doing a bonus giveaway as well. So, all right, let's get into it. Are we excited? Are we ready? Yes, ready for transformation? Okay, I love it. It's time for the slide, y'all. Brace yourselves. Elyse Archer made a slide presentation. Let me share this, and I need to share audio too. Okay, let me know. Someone just ping me if like the sound. All right, can you see that? Can everyone see that okay? All right, awesome. And if one of my team will just, you can't hear anything else right now, right? I've got a quick video to play, so I turned it with sound on, but I want to make sure there's no like echo or background noise. Wait, right now, we good? Okay, so let's get into it. So I'm going to preview for you these 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. This is what actually unlocks the quantum leap in your sales for us as women. I'm calling them the 4 M's. All right. So your first one, mind over matter. Now, this is not what you think it is. Okay. So stay tuned. This is what we're going to be diving into more today. But this is one of the most important ones. There's actually 3 that I think are most important and one that is not as much. And I'm going to tell you I'm going to show you how that works. First quadrant, mind over matter. Second quadrant, money. All right. Your relationship with money, shifting that, getting really good at receiving more money. Quadrant 3, aligning your masculine and feminine energy. Quadrant 4 is the method. This is the strategy. This is the tactical. Something that I truly believe about our teaching is like, sales is kind of the Trojan horse, because again, I spent over a decade of my life focusing purely on strategy and investing tens of thousands of dollars in getting the right strategy. And while I would make small incremental shifts, I would never have the quantum leap experience that I was looking for. So the way that these actually are allocated in terms of importance to your growth looks more like this. So I call these the big 3: mind over matter, money, and masculine and feminine energy. The method up here is not as important. All right, I'm going to share, we're actually going to talk neuroscience today, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be like high level. So the method is not as important. It sits on top of this foundation. Why does this matter? According to neuroscience, 95 to 98% of the results that you get in your sales and your business are based upon subconscious programming, which we're going to dive into deeper today, which means that the method, the strategy, the tactics that you use only account for 2 to 5% of your results. And this is why, and I'm curious, for some reason I can't see everyone right now. I want to see if I can see all, well, I don't know, I'll expand it a bit. So I want to see show of hands. Who here can relate to doing all the right things, like grinding, taking the action, doing the strategic work, and yet for some reason you keep bumping up against a threshold in terms of what you're making and what your results are? Again, it's because scientifically, the strategy that you take is only responsible for 2 to 5% of your results. And so everything transformed in my life, and I see it happen in our clients' lives, is too, when we get under the hood and we're not just focused on the method, although this is important. It's important to have the right method. We're going to do a deep dive into how to build out the right method for the results you're looking to create on Thursday when we dive into tactical strategy. But if you just focus on the method, if you just do that, it's like you're trying to build a skyscraper on top of a very shallow foundation. If we haven't actually done the work to help you get incredibly solid in feeling worthy of what you want, embodying the identity of the woman who has what you want, understanding how to sell and run your business as a woman and feeling safe in doing that and leaning into feminine energy, which is more about being and receiving than doing, and then also getting great at receiving lots of money, the method won't matter. You'll still just keep getting incremental results. So I really geek out on this stuff. I grew up in a very analytical household. We never it was all method, and that's okay. But again, I never had a breakthrough until I learned these 3 that we're talking about today. So here's the other thing. Underneath each of the big 3, there are also 3 primary, we'll call them subcomponents, all right, that are going to help you create huge gains in that area. So we're going to reveal and unfold what these are throughout the week. In Mind Over Matter, we're going to dive in today, and I'm going to tell you what they are. So let's talk a little bit more about Mind Over Matter and what this means. Like I said, this is not what you think it is. So how many of us have heard the phrase, oh, just mind over matter, push through, not a big deal, just push through it, make it happen. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. That's not what I'm talking about. I am curious, again, if you're on camera, give me a yes, raise your hand. If you're not, give me like a thumbs up. But who here feels like you are doing all the right things to achieve your goal, and yet you keep bumping up against a wall, or has had that experience in the past, right? Where it's like, you know, you're putting in the work, and yet for whatever reason, you can't break past that certain level. Also, and this is what I love about this community, is we're so honest. Like, I will be so honest about the challenges I've faced along the way. And I think that's a beautiful part about the community too here, is like, it's a safe space to come and share that. Who here finds themselves sometimes doing things that you know are unproductive or not helpful or are holding you back, and you don't know why, and you get frustrated with yourself, and you're like, oh, why can't I just stop doing that? Or why can't I start doing that? And you make yourself wrong and you shame yourself. So here is what is so powerful, is when you learn this 5-step process of how you create results in your sales, your business, and your life. Most people focus just on this last step, which is our results. And we say, oh, I want to have a 10K month. Or like, why can't I break past that level? Or, you know, I've been at that level for a long time and I want to hit 100K months. We just focus on the results. And we also just focus on our actions. These two are the last step of you creating what you want to create. There's 3 steps beforehand that most people miss, which actually create the results, again, in your sales, your career, and in your life. So the way that this works from a neuroscience standpoint is your beliefs about life, and we're going to do a deeper dive into that today. Your beliefs about how much money is a lot or not a lot, your beliefs about how safe it is for you to be seen and visible in the world, your beliefs about whether you have to work hard for money or not, your beliefs about whether clients like you or not. All of that creates your thoughts. Your thoughts in turn create your feelings. All right. So a feeling is just a response to a thought that's triggered in your mind, which then creates your actions. So, you know, those days where you're just like, you're feeling so good and you're in flow and you're connected and you're like not worried about how it's all going to come together. And you're like, man, everything's happening for me. I feel great. Do you not find that those days you have clarity in terms of which actions to take, and the actions you take actually work and you reach out to people and they're happy and they're responsive? Or if they're not, you're like, man, not a big deal. I'm going to just move on. Right. So, but then on the days where it's not like that, right? If we have a day where we're stuck in self-doubt, or we're stuck in self-criticism, and we are feeling low, and maybe we're feeling anxiety or guilt or shame or doubt, do you ever take actions on those days towards your business or your sales that are impactful? No, right? So we can't think higher than our emotional state. So if you're feeling in a low state, that's not when you're going to have your inspired idea that's going to get you to your end goal. So our feelings determine our actions, which in turn create our results. So what we want to do today is get way under the hood and go to the root of the issue for what's holding you back from quantum sales growth, which is today mind over matter. All right, your beliefs. So spoiler alert. And here's what I want to do too, because I know that this is a community of conscious women. I started hearing this and learning this 10 years before my actual quantum leap. Like I said, I knew it for a long time, but it wasn't until I got really honest and said, you know what, I'm going to humble myself and realize that even though I know this, I'm telling myself a story that it doesn't really matter, or this works for other people, but not for me. And I got sick of my own lack of results. I got sick of staying at the same place. And I said, maybe I know this intellectually, but am I being it? So I want to encourage you, even if you have heard this before, what we're talking about today, even if you study belief systems, I don't care. Are you being it? And there is always another level that we can go to. So every single time you're ready for your next unlocking of quantum sales growth, it's going to require a new belief system, a new identity, and a new way of you showing up in your business and your life. So what is that next level for you? And then we're going to dive into what are the beliefs you would need to have in order to create that next level. There are no limits. All right. Within the bounds of natural law, there are no limits. So we want to help you get under the hood of what's going to create that next level for you. So with that being said, you have been programmed. You have been programmed with a certain set of beliefs that some of them are working for you. Many of them are not. If we do a very basic view of the brain, you've got these two sections. One is your conscious mind that's responsible for the analytical functions, reasoning, will, perception, the intellect. And then you have your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind stores all of the habitual programs and behaviors that determine 95 to 98% of your results. 95 to 98%. When I started learning this and I realized that all of my attention had been on the outside and on why I couldn't get a certain result, and realized that it was actually all stemming from me, everything transformed. So your brain is lazy. It wants to save energy. So the subconscious mind is in charge of whatever it is that you believe to be true about the world, making that your reality. You have a filter in your brain. This is the analytical brain, the reticular activating system. Its whole job is to filter out opportunities, information, ideas that would not align with your belief system about how much money you're capable of making, about whether it's safe for you to be successful in the world, et cetera. So if you have a belief that $10,000 a month is a lot, you could have an opportunity come through that would make you 20 a month. Your reticular activating system is going to filter it out. You're going to get distracted. You're going to say, oh my gosh, I need to go check my email. You're going to start to feel tired. You're going to say, oh, I'll come back to it later, or you're just not even going to see it. All right. That is literally how your brain works. So I want to reallocate this, because the allocation of importance, just like we showed the big three at the bottom and method going on top, it's very similar here in terms of, if you want to get different results, we need to get under the hood into the beliefs and the programs of the subconscious. So how does this happen? It's simple. We've got two little ones at home right now. We've got a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. They're my little boys. They're my heart. Who here is a mama or has kids? Yeah. Like I see Kayla's sweet little guy, Declan, on the call. I'm obsessed. I'm in love. It's so interesting to know how this works now. So from the ages of 0 to 7, you don't have a conscious mind. Your brain is in theta brain waves, which is the same brain state that you would be in if you were under hypnosis. So whatever information comes your way in your environment, you must take in to be true. You must take in to be true. So I want you to stop and think about things that you may have heard growing up. Money doesn't grow on trees. Who heard that? Who heard, let's actually take a look at some of these. Little girls should be seen and not heard. Who heard that one? If anyone have an issue with visibility and getting in front and like stepping up and putting your hat in the ring for opportunities? Yep. So there's that one. Rich people are greedy, right? You can't have money and have love. A lot of the members of our community will relate to this. Like if you ask for what you want, you're going to be punished. We're told we're not enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. We're told you're too much. You're too loud. You're too pretty. You're too smart. You got to tone down to fit in. Not just from our parents or our family of origin. It's from society. A lot of these things are also epigenetics, right? So it's passed down literally in our DNA that either it's not safe to be visible. I've been really studying a lot about the witch wound recently. It's very interesting to see how these things get passed down, and we as women have it in our DNA that it's not safe to be seen or else we will be killed. So these things are deep, right? They run deep. But if we're not conscious that they're there, then they will run the show for you, and it will limit you in terms of the results that you can achieve. So here's where I've told some of my clients, there's a set of earrings that I'm going to get that say question everything. For so much of my life, I didn't think for myself. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but if someone said something, because I was so complicit and the good girl and wanted to make everybody happy growing up. So if somebody said something, I just assumed it was true. If somebody said $1 million is a lot of money, I assumed it was true. If somebody said you can be successful, I assumed it was true. If somebody said, oh, that's not a good opportunity, I assumed it was true, right? So I want to invite you this week to start questioning everything because you have been programmed. So let's talk for a minute about a personal truth versus a universal truth. A personal truth is something that feels true for you. It may have been your lived experience. You may have had experiences where it was hard to make a certain amount of money, or where you stayed stuck at a certain threshold, or where you spoke up and were visible and there was backlash. So I'm not saying these experiences have not happened. However, if it is not true for everyone on the planet, it is not a universal truth. What is an example of a universal truth? Law of gravity, right? We all got to play by it. We all got to play by it. But so I started questioning what I thought to be true for myself, because I realized for so long in my own life, I wanted a financial quantum leap. I wanted to be able to live a bigger life. And I think we as women need to get more unapologetic about that. It's not actually about the money. It's about how are you fully expressing yourself in the world and in your life and having the resources to do that. And for so long, I wanted that. And I had gone and like tabulated how much it would cost for me to live my fullest life. And for me, I was living a good life when I did this exercise. And I was like probably upper middle class is what I would have been considered. But there were things that were far greater that I wanted to do. I've got a big heart for animals. I wanted to start an animal sanctuary. My husband was working at the time, but had a passion that he wanted to go back to school and go to medical school. I wanted to be able to support him in doing that. I wanted to donate in a big way. I wanted to launch a media company, all of these things. And I looked at it and it was like, it was going to require a lot more resources, like closer to the $1 million mark to be able to do those things. Actually, honestly, it's going to be more to build it all out. I've done some of it so far. I'm still in process with some of it. But I was like, there's no way with the resources I have now, I could do that. However, when I thought about that dollar amount of $1 million, it felt really big. But here's where I want you to, who here feels right now like $1 million feels big or feels like a lot, like honest show of hands? Totally fine. Like most people do, right? But again, is that a universal truth? Would Elon Musk say it's hard to make $1 million? Would Oprah say it's hard to make $1 million? Would Tony Robbins say it's hard to make $1 million? I wouldn't say it's hard to make $1 million. It's all about questioning everything that you have been accepting as your truth. And here's the other thing you want to start thinking about is, and this is with so much love and respect to your family of origin, to your parents, I firmly believe everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. I truly, truly believe that. And you need to stop and question the people who programmed you. Do they have the life and the results that you want? Right? And this is, I'll see women in our community do this and they're like, oh, I want to invest in myself. I want to join the programs, but I'm going to run it by like my spouse or my partner. I'm going to run it by my sister. I'm going to run it by I don't care, someone. They say they need to run it by someone. And my response is, number one, trust yourself. If I hadn't trusted myself along the way in the journey, we wouldn't all be here today, because part of me making a quantum leap was I had to invest $50,000 in coaching with someone when I was making $100 a year. It was extremely uncomfortable. Everyone would have told me it didn't make sense. I had a knowing and I did it, and it quantum leaped me. But for the people that you're saying you need to go to figure out if something is the right move for you, do they have the results that you want? And if not, why are you going to them? Or for the programs that you're believing in your mind that say rich people are greedy, money is the root of all evil, I can't have love and happiness and money. Did the people who put those programs in there have the results that you want? If not, why not start choosing for yourself and creating a different program that's going to take you on a different pathway? Is this resonating? Are we getting this? Are we okay? Yeah, I want to like check in a little bit with you here. So here is the good news with all of this. You can choose a new program. And when we do, achieving whatever the goal is that you want to achieve actually starts to feel easy. Let me show you how this looks in real time. So this is a time-lapse video of new neurons connecting. It occurred over 20 minutes. We're not going to sit here for 20 minutes and watch it. It's like 26 seconds, but you're going to see neurons connecting, which is exactly what happens when we create a new belief system. So this is happening in your brain all the time. Let's see if this will play.
What you're looking at here are two neurons under the microscope that I've filmed. And if you wait really patiently, you'll be able to see them connecting to one another.
Boom. Isn't that beautiful? I get excited about that. That is what it actually looks like. And there's a process where when you decide to create a new belief for yourself, the neurons prune apart and then new ones come together. It's how it works. So this is the beautiful news about this. And also this is the truth, is if you want to get a different level of results, then you have to reprogram your brain. You have to reprogram your subconscious mind. I'm going to stop the share here for a minute and just talk with you. So doing this is how I was able to finally turn my annual income into my monthly income after I was stuck for 10 years. It wasn't hustling harder. It wasn't working harder. It was learning how to do this. This is how, I mean, Laura shared her story before. Laura, would you say when you doubled your income, it wasn't grinding and hustling harder, right? What was it?
It was, yeah, it was easy. It was unexpected. It's something that showed up.
Yeah.
So not at all. I was grinding and hustling before way too much and not getting what I wanted and feeling frustrated and working hard. And there's a different way.
There is a different way. It's so beautiful. Thank you. So let's talk about this. So these 3 keys to mastering mind over matter. I'm going to pull this back up for you here. Okay. So I call this IRA. It's going to be even more lucrative for you than a traditional IRA if you follow them. The first, and so we don't have time for all 3 of these, but we're going to do a deep dive into the first one, which is identity. So we're going to focus mostly on your identity. So here is the truth. Your results will never supersede your identity. They will never supersede your identity. This is where people get manifestation messed up. And I used to be one of those people who was like, well, vision boarding works for everyone else, but not me. Has anyone ever had that experience? Like affirmations work for everyone else, but not me. And I was so frustrated because I would hear other people talk about their quantum leap experiences, and I felt like I couldn't have one. But so the truth of the matter is, you in life, in business, in sales, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So what is your identity? It's the programs that we just talked about. Your identity is made up of your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. So if you want to get a different outcome, or if you want to make millions while working part-time, you have to start to form the identity of the woman who does that. So does the woman who does that think that it's hard? She thinks it's normal, right? Does the woman who has the career, like the promotion that you want, does she think she's unworthy of it? No, she's already got it, right? Yeah. So you have to start to create the identity of the person who has what you want. If you want a different outcome, you have to become someone different. So this is a concept that I call the identity gap. And this is where most of us get it messed up and we kind of fall through the cracks. So you've got a goal, whatever your big, beautiful goal is, that it's like, you can, who here has a goal? And it's like, it's speaking to you, you feel it, you feel it calling you. But who here, again, show of hands, it feels distant or it feels, and that's okay if it does. Again, this is for most people, how it shows up at the beginning. Your goal is here. Your identity, though, is here. So there's a gap. Your identity doesn't yet match that of the person, of the woman who naturally has the result you want to create. So we do a lot of work with our clients in our programs, in our 10K Club and 50K Club program, on literally creating a new personality and a new identity. It's not that we're like, you got to become somebody totally new. Like, we want to take with us anything that's already working for you. But who here wants to hold on to old limiting patterns? Who here wants to hold on to lack or scarcity or self-doubt or not enoughness or overeating, whatever it is, under earning? Like, who here wants to hold on to that? Right? Nobody does. So what we get clarity on is, what are the ways of being that are tied to the old personality, the old version of you that's creating your current results, that we're going to lovingly release? And what are the ways of being that we're going to step into that would naturally create the results you're looking to create? And this is part of what's so beautiful, is when you do this, and this was part of my experience too, and it continues to be today, because now I'm going for a much bigger life for myself. When you do this process and you make it about your transformation inside, and you shifting from anxiety or fear or overwhelm or lack into someone who is self-confident. I love, Valerie, what you shared before about the confidence to ask for your worth, right? Someone who's self-confident, someone who just is abundant, someone who has amazing relationships with her clients, someone who has an inbox full of ideal opportunities showing up for her. That will happen for you. And the actual gift that you're going to feel most lit up about in the process is how much you love yourself. By the end of it, you are going to love the woman you become. It's so beautiful. So the key and what you have to do is literally create the identity of who you want to become. So this is going to tie in, spoiler alert, it's going to tie in with the homework for tonight. So I'll give you some assignments to do that a bit later. But that is the first and the biggest one we're going to dive into today for Mind Over Matter is identity. The second of IRA is rewire. You got to know how to rewire your brain. One of our community members I love this story. She's in financial services. And when she entered our community, there was a promotion at work that she really wanted to go for. And she'd been holding herself back though. She hadn't put her name in the hat. This woman is very qualified, could crush it, very, very good at what she does. And it would also double her income. And when she entered, she started in the 10K Club. When she entered the program, she's like, I really want to do this, but I'm afraid, and blah, blah, blah. So she hadn't put in her application. And she shared this story with me that was so interesting too, where she's also a cycling instructor. And so she's in great shape. I mean, could smoke the rest of the class if she wanted to. And where she went to the gym, and she attended cycling classes too, they had a board up at the front of the room so you could see everybody's score and everybody's speed. So everyone was ranked against each other. And she said, when I get to number 2, you would think I would speed up, but I actually slow down. And when she got under the hood, she realized it was because of the program of what would it mean for her to be fully visible at the top of her game. And there was fear around that for her. Fear of not being enough, fear of imposter syndrome, fear of people not liking her, right? How many of us can relate to that? And when we put 2 and 2 together for her, she realized that was exactly what was holding her back from going for the promotion. So we did a rewiring process, and this is something we teach our clients and work with them on, to help her rewire her inner program that it was safe to be visible and safe to go for what she wanted. She went for it, she got the promotion, and within 3 weeks, she doubled her income. But we had to get under the hood. Now, here's one thing that I do want to say about rewiring. Who here has been told or thought, like, if you want to create a new belief, you just say affirmations over and over again, or you just stare at a vision board and it'll happen? No. No. Who here's been frustrated? I'm seeing Dolores be like, who here's been frustrated by trying that and it doesn't work? So one thing that is incredibly important with rewiring, emotional impact is key. So I'll share a couple of things with rewiring. Number one, emotional impact. That's how you actually get a new belief from your conscious mind to your subconscious. So this is something I'm doing every morning when I'm in my visualization, is I'm not just seeing what do I want to create, but I'm calling up the feelings of what I expect to feel. That's how we get that new belief from your conscious to your subconscious. Now, what I find for a lot of women in the community is they say, I don't know how to feel. All right. So if you're like, I don't know how I would feel that now, we have women come in who, for so many reasons, have disconnected from their body, trauma, whatever type of trauma it is, it's trauma is what it comes down to. So that is something we actually support women in, is learning how to reconnect with your body, because that is how we reprogram the subconscious mind to get you what you want. So we have to emotionalize it. I think something else that's really important and really beautiful is whatever the goal is, we can trip ourselves up and say, I have to know how. You don't. If you read Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, he talks about this, and it's so beautiful and so powerful. The whole job of the subconscious mind is to make whatever the program is inside your reality. So all you need to do is get your subconscious to accept, believe, and surrender to the new belief, the new program. And from there, its entire job is to go to work giving you ideas of actions you can take to make that your reality. But it will not do it until you have made a firm commitment that it is going to happen and that you are choosing this new belief. Because again, your brain is an energy saving machine. So until it knows that you're serious and you make that declaration, and it involves taking some kind of a like, no, I'm in it, burn the ships type of action, it knows that you're kidding. It knows that you're not serious. So it's not going to give you the ideas of things to do until you say, yes, this is happening. Does that make sense? Are you all with me? So you don't need to know how. You just need to know what you want. Third, alignment. The A in IRA, alignment. Aligning with your new personality. There is a period of time that will elapse from the time you make the decision and get clarity on who is the version of me who has the result that I want. Where you have to start showing up as her and shifting into being her, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and stay that way because we create in time lag until it will start to unfold. But you will know you're on the right track because you start to feel better. That is how you know. If you're ever like, am I on the right track? Do you feel more peace? Do you feel more calm? Do you feel less resistance around your goal? Yes, your subconscious is accepting it. You're on the right track. So this is how it works, my friends. And so when you shift your identity, when you rewire your beliefs, and when you start aligning and embodying the natural version of you who has the results you want, achieving the goals becomes a natural byproduct. You're going to start thinking, feeling, and acting differently. And this is where it actually gets to be easy. So I want to take about 5 minutes here and call up one of our community members. And then I'm going to take the remaining 5 minutes to give you your homework for tonight and tell you about what to expect for tomorrow. So Debbie Handrick, I see you in beautiful blue. Today was like the blue day for quite a few of us. I love it. Welcome. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So Debbie, you are a newer member of our community. I know you got started this summer. And I just want to, ladies, I want to highlight Debbie today. She's such a beautiful soul. She's so engaged. She shows up on all the calls. She does the work. She's making quantum leaps already. Let me actually stop my share here. So Debbie, share a little bit about what brought you into the community and where were you at when you decided to join us?
Oh, thanks. You know, what really brought me into the community was realizing that I had made quantum leaps in other areas of my life. You know, in love, I had made quantum leaps, but as you said it so brilliantly once, well, now you're in the school of money. And it was just so true. Like I have a sense of how this works. I've been studying spiritual laws, but I needed, you know, the example and the stories that you are offering us, as well as your transparency, to start to see, how does any of this work with money?
Yeah. I love what you said there. And we tend to serve and help a lot of women who are in the school of money. Who here is, maybe you've never heard that before, but there's kind of 3 schools of life, right? The school of relationships, the school of health, or the school of money. We tend to serve a lot of women who are in the school of money, where it's like, you're ready for your quantum leap. You're ready for a different experience. You're ready for more abundance, more freedom. Who else can relate to maybe being in the school of money? Right now, I'm seeing some heads nodding. Yeah. Beautiful. So Debbie, you came in and actually share really quick what you do, because you do really beautiful work in the world. And I want everyone to also know about that.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
I was a long time professor of writing and literature, and kind of got to the ceiling of what I could do in terms of my heart passion. So I left the college to go entrepreneurial and really get into the feminine spiritual writing mission. I help people write their memoirs and their self-development books, and I really, really lean deeply into the feminine energy to do so, because all those years at the college, I was the grind person. You know, I was known all over the college because I kept saying yes to more roles. Yes, yes, yes. Sure, I'll stop sleeping for good. I'll do everything. You know, I loved students so much. So there came a point in time where I just had to go, what do I really want to do? And I wanted to help people really share their true story, their vulnerable story, the one that was going to truly give them an emotional quantum leap and just light up their life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And Debbie is also being humble. She has worked with, I hope it's okay for me to say, but like some very well-known, like Hay House author, like Debbie is good at what she does. And so I heard you say, when you came in, you realized, okay, I've quantum leaped other areas of my life, but I'm ready for a quantum leap in money. You shared something with me on a group call the other day where I was like, how did I not know that this is happening? Do you know what I'm talking about, or do you want me to say it?
Is it about how I was binging in June?
And then what? And then you set the intention that you're going to join the program and make 10K months. And then what happened?
Yeah, so it was early days of June, and I came across your podcast last February about financial scarcity, and I'm like, oh, there I am. And I listened and I went, oh, and I listened again and went, oh, you know, and I just started binging your content, going, I'm going to come up with the $1,000 to enter a particular program of yours, but it's all about making 10K. I'm going to do that fast. And it was actually the day that I enrolled in your program was the last day of the month. It was June 30th. And when I went back and did my accounting, I realized I had a 10K month. And I was blown away, because, you know, I was literally just binging out on anything I could find by you to get myself, you know, ready for the first day of class. And then boom.
I love that so much. And I think that there's 2 things that I want to pull out from what you said too. One is like, it's the decision. Like when you make the decision, because I know you, like what you had shared with me is you're like, no, I'm doing this. Like I'm investing in myself. I'm enrolling in the program. And from that place, we start to think higher level thoughts. We start to take different actions, and the results start to manifest. So you have, from what I know and understand, you've continued to just have more financial flow come in and beautiful opportunities coming in as well, which is really, really beautiful. What would, oh, and one thing I want to say too, because you mentioned like getting ready, this is something that so many women feel is like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the quantum leap. I'm not ready to invest in myself. Like there's never a time. This is what's so important. And Debbie, what I love about what you shared is you were like, it's happening, it's done. And boom, from that place, it's done. There is never a perfect time. There is never a perfect scenario. When I had my first quantum leap, our first son was like 3 months old. And I was like, I'm going to coast. I'm not going to like put in the work. And then I just had this knowing like, oh no, it's time to up level in some big ways. So any final words of advice to the women who are here and they're like, they're ready for their quantum leap. They want to go deeper and they may just need like some support or some encouragement from you. Any final words of advice for the women here this week?
You know, I can just say that some of the quantum leaps I've had were in areas that were not popular. Like, you know, I went from the fear of drowning my whole life to one summer at 50, learning how to swim. But what I remember the most about any moment before really leaping from, I have no concept of this, to I'm going to master it, was the desire in me was strong to invest. It was strong to just move those dollars in that area, move my energy in that area, really just throw myself in and allow the new me to show me the new me. You know, just really believe that she's out there. And I always find the new me, she spends more than I know how to spend. She gets up earlier than I know how to do. She studies longer. She does things, but from a really, this is happening. This is on. I'm delighting in this. And I'm not saying there aren't little moments of doubt, but in the investment, just is this, it creates this solid foundation underneath me to keep going. And then having your teaching as sort of, you know, like where I'm following has just been such a great gift.
Wow. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I love what you shared there. Tomorrow is all about money, and something that you said, which is so true, is money is energy. So at the end of the day, part of how we tell our subconscious we're serious is we actually invest money in wherever it is that we know is going to take us to the next level. And so you're so inspiring. We love you. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. I think it's so powerful for other women to hear about your journey as well. So thank you, Debbie. Yeah. So for tonight, let me share. I've got a 3-parter for you all. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again and again to be entered in the drawing for the private coaching session. You got to do the homework and be live every day. And you'll want to share this in the Facebook group as well. So this is like it's a beautiful exercise. It's a streamlined version of what we have our clients do in our community. So I want you to take the lid off. No consequences or limitations. What have you accomplished in your career, in your sales, and in your life in the next 12 months? And then you're going to dial it in before the end of the year. All right. The universe likes speed. So what are we looking to create now? Right. Number 2, you're going to self-reflect and say, what would the version of me be? Who would I need to be in order to have these results? What are the thoughts, feelings, and actions that someone would take who has these results? And you can do a column, like 3 columns, thoughts, feelings, actions. And then this is where we're also going to get really self-aware, not in judgment, not in shame or blame, but just in honesty. All right, where's the gap? So what are 3 to 5 areas where I haven't currently shown up as this woman, or I'm not showing up as her now? Again, not in judgment, but if you already were showing up as her, the result would be there. So we've got to get some real awareness of where that gap is. And then I'm going to be working with you over the course of the week to help you start to close that gap some more for you too. So those are the three. Our team is going to post that in the Facebook group for you as well. So you have the homework. Tomorrow, same time, same place, all about money. So you ready to figure out and learn like the real energetics of wealth and receiving far more clients and opportunities and sales and receiving way more money? That is tomorrow, my friend. I'm sweethearts. I love it. So we will see you back tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm going to be popping in the Facebook group later to see what your biggest takeaways were, what your ahas were, and to check your homework. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Lots of love, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.